Welcome guys to Nebulous Fleet Command. This is a game that I've actually been wanting to get into for many years, actually, for a number of years. It's hard. It's a hard game, but it's actually extremely it's one of these games where I've been wanting to actually even do tutorial series on it because it's a really, really rewarding game to get into. It's very realistic in terms of space combat, etc. I think there's a few little abstraction type things which sort of make it sort of less realistic, but it's very much like The Expanse. If you imagine actually playing battles in The Expanse, but in around asteroid belts and stuff like that. So this is sort of what we actually have with this particular game. The reason I wanted to do this one is because they've just brought in a campaign mode. Now, if you've never heard of the game before, this is not going to mean much to you. If you have been aware of this for a number of years, like let's just say you've been following this game through its development, you'll know that the game, I think it pretty closely started off with an actual campaign mode of sorts, which was sort of almost like a random sort of campaign. But it really was buggy, and so they got rid of it. So they actually sort of extracted that away from it. I forget what it was called. Anyway, there was something that was in there. And then there was somebody else that had built another sort of randomly generated scenario type aspect, which I did play a little bit. I didn't actually do any recordings on that. But that also now no longer works with the current game. So you may find if you do actually have the game and you haven't played it for a while, it may not work with this new version of the game itself. But we now actually have this campaign area, which is really cool because they've now got also a campaign builder. Like if I go into here, you've got not just the you've got campaigns and tutorials. You can load a campaign in through there, and you've also got the campaign editor. So there's already mods coming into the Steam Workshop that people are using this campaign editor to sort of build up content. So there's going to be a lot of campaign content just through modding. I do have a few mods installed. I'll just quickly go across to what these are. What I do actually have is I've got Nebulous is just the base game itself. This one here is I've downloaded a couple of campaign masters. This is a Blood Moon map. I've got no idea what this is. I just sort of downloaded it because it rated really highly. And the Hemlock campaign assets as well. These are actually assets for the Task Force Hemlock campaign, which when I looked at it, it was highly rated as a tutorial campaign. Maybe worth us having a bit of a look at that one. Maybe we'll have a look at at least try to start the campaign. I'm going to say try to start. I will say right now, this is going to be frustrating for you guys because, hang on, I'll just cancel that one out, because I've forgotten how to play the game. So I didn't have time to sort of relearn. So we're going to go into campaign. We've got campaigns and tutorials in through here. And so what we end up having is we've got like 3 tutorials, which I really should have sat down and done. These are interesting in the sense that you've got like the Fleet Academy is like a basic tutorial, and I really enjoyed this. I remember back a couple of years ago now when I first played this, I did actually enjoy this tutorial mission, and there was nothing tricky about it. Then they introduced missiles into the actual game itself, and that was a whole other level of complexity. I never did this tutorial, and I just avoided missiles when I did play the game. So this tutorial covers advanced gameplay topics and are not recommended for new players. So the actual tutorial wasn't recommended for a new player. You can play the game without missiles, and maybe we'll be able to do that, I'm not sure. And then we've got flight controls as well. So this on small craft like skiffs, fighters, bombers. So I didn't play with those either. They're sort of like the next level up from missiles. But this is a full-blown real-time. It is pausable from memory with what we ended up having. We can do different types of things. Now, you'll see that the Bethel Rebellion is the actual campaign for the game. So this is the first of the actual official campaigns. Hi Dragster, how are you going? So an Alliance fleet deep within enemy territory must create an opening for the rest of the invasion force, but the truth behind the rebellion makes their mission far more complicated. So this is a story within the game itself. And the interesting thing about these campaigns is that every bullet that you fire, every missile that you fire off, every bit of damage that you take is then taken into the next mission. So unless there's sort of like ways within missions to repair, you are stuck with what you start with, which is actually really interesting. So it's very, very sort of realistic in that sort of sense. It's a very realistic game. I believe that the dev was was he was in the Navy essentially, and then sort of went off and started building this game in his spare time, and then made it his full-time job, which is very cool. Again, like, so he's really honed in on accuracy, etc., etc. This is the one that I downloaded from the internet. So the Hemlock tutorial campaign for Task Force Hemlock. Now, if I go and select this one, I don't know if this will have the same degree of this one. I might just have a quick look and see. I think we'll still play the other one. This is working. There we go. Yeah, it sort of does have certain things. So we've got the now in this case here, I've got you've got like differences into here: easy, medium, and hard. We'd definitely be playing on easy. So a short campaign featuring Task Force Hemlock, the missile beam Axford starter fleet, and gives a guided introduction to the fleet over 3 missions to learn the basics of missiles and tactics. That sounds pretty cool, actually. We might come back and do that one, but I will actually show you the other one as well, which is the base game one. So campaigns and tutorials. I did read somewhere that also some of the old mods are making their campaigns not really work all that well. But I've just downloaded this literally before I started recording. So we go and select. So it's bringing this one in. So this one gives you more information about what's going on. So again, we've got the Bethel Rebellion. Maybe we play this one and just see how we go. So this is difficulty recommendations, easy for new players, which is what we're going to be doing, playing in solo. Medium if you've got new players playing in cooperative, or experienced players playing solo, and hard is experienced players co-op and very experienced players solo. Now, I am definitely in this new players, even though I have played the game a little bit in previous years. So, but I've forgotten everything, literally everything. The Sheltered Alliance is finally fractured. The destruction of an agriculture station by Protectorate specialists is on them. Is the match cast upon the tinder of nearly 5 centuries of simmering resentment between the Alliance's 13-member nations. In a desperate attempt to quell the rebellion before it can rip the rest of the Alliance apart, Fleet Admiral Winchester has been ordered to invade the Bethel system and given a blank check to do so. However, with the entire invasion fleet forced to transit the narrow aperture of Bethel's only hyperspace gate, casualties are expected to be catastrophically high. The discovery of a fortuitous but extremely treacherous natural hyperspace route has presented an opportunity for a small diversion force to sneak into the system without having to use the gate. Admiral Winchester selected you to lead this force. So take command of the scattered remnants of Task Force Alder as it arrives in the Bethel system, and what it will be the most important and most dangerous mission of your naval career. You've only a few days left to draw the defenders off of the gate before the invasion fleet comes through. What awaits them at the exit depends on you. So the future of the Alliance, whether it or not it will collapse into total civil war, hinges on the success or failure of the Bethel Rebellion. So if we go and start this one, we do actually have different things we can then go and set up in terms of the player colours. I might just do the DAS one that I've already got that I built years ago. So we'll just go and load from slot. There we go. So that's going to be our colour scheme for our ships. So the ships are all sort of done this way. So hi, Engineer Kenny, how you going? So just wanted to say hi and loving your videos as always. Thank you for that. And Bid is then saying, hey, one of the ugliest UIs I've ever seen. Hope this game will be better. It's an incredible game. The user interface, or the UI is actually is extremely functional in this game. It's actually I didn't have any problem with the UI at all in this game, I gotta say. So it's a real-time game. I just can't remember how you pause, etc. I think it's just the space bar, but we'll see how we go. So we're going to go in with the fleet livery in through here for just with a DAS on it. We're going to be playing it easy. Let's just get started. Now I don't know if we have to build our ships at the start. That's actually another whole other real deep aspect of the game. Hopefully we don't have to. But this is a game that I did want to do a tutorial series on at some point, just because it's so damn good.
478. The Shelter Alliance, having long defeated their sworn enemy, now strains under nearly 5 centuries of stagnant bureaucracy and corruption. On the furthest rimward edge of Alliance space, the Outlying Systems Protectorate, one of its founding members, seeks to return to independence. Their demands fall on deaf ears. With their government's weakness on full display, a group of Protectorate secessionists hijacked the Alliance frigate ANS Open Flame. They detonate its reactor near the Harbor Fund Agricultural Station in a neighboring Alliance system. The death toll is unfathomable. Demands for vengeance sweep through the Alliance. Dozens of warships are pulled from other duties to blockade the Bethel system, the gateway to the Protectorate, isolating it from the rest of the galaxy. Secessionists within Bethel's government take the blockade as a gift, the perfect justification to finally declare their independence. Caesar Constantine, a native son of Bethel and former fleet admiral of the Alliance, takes command of the hastily formed Protectorate Navy. With a strategic brilliance matched only by his ambition and ruthlessness, no other man in the Protectorate could take up the mantle. Under his leadership, the ranks of the Protectorate Navy swell with those eager to defend their home. Shipyards work around the clock, transforming cargo ships into warships in a matter of days. With the counter-blockade forming, Grand Admiral Constantine raises his flag on the battleship Strong the Root Beneath, a 400-year-old museum relic of the defense against the Venuman conquest from which the Alliance was born. In an effort to end the war before it could truly begin, the only other Alliance ship left behind before the blockade, ANS Swift Toxic, attempts to destroy the flagship before it can be made ready. It arrives too late. The frigate, outmatched in every respect, is battered and forced to retreat into the unknown. The conflict sits at a stalemate for months until a small Protectorate fleet strikes deep within Alliance. Interrogation of the survivors reveals the hyperspace route they used, and the Alliance government seizes on the opportunity. The Core Conference, desperate to prevent a breakup of the Alliance, orders Fleet Admiral Winchester to end the Bethel Rebellion at any cost. You are a Rear Admiral of the Alliance Navy, handpicked by the Fleet Admiral.
I don't know why they picked me.
The fleet has been scraped together from whatever can be spared and sent through the uncovered hyperspace route into Bethel. Your mission: destroy strategic industry in order to draw away as much of the blockading force as possible and create an opening for the rest of the invasion fleet. The main battle force comes through the hyperspace gate in only a few days. The fate of over 300 ships, nearly half the entire Alliance Navy, now depends on you.
Now, if there's too many ships for me to control, I will have to go and do the tutorial, which I still think is worth having a look at if we need to do that. Act 1, Harsh Winds Blow. There we go. The Bethel Star System. We've got more than 2 or 3 ships. It's going to be pretty too much for us, to be fair.
Wendy, this is Karina. Portal transit complete. Break. All scans negative. No new contacts detected. Over.
This is Wendy. Copy, no new contacts. Over.
One thing I love about this game is the actual comms are realistic.
To hyperspace. Set condition 1.
But it is a hard game. Yeah, we've got 3 ships.
Better than I'd hoped for.
Clean, but not quiet. We stick around any longer and it'll get much louder. They'll have seen that hyperspace tear across the system. We should get moving. Intel, are we getting any markers from the ships we lost in hyperspace? Did any make it here on their own?
Yes, sir, but only a few. We've got them plotted on the system map already.
Down to only an ancient carrier and 2 frigates, 12 days behind schedule, and we haven't even met the enemy yet. No time to waste. We need to reassemble the task force and get on with this. The gate crashers are counting on us.
Alright, now I have completely forgotten how to play this game, so I think I will go back out and do the tutorial, and then we'll come back.
Clear for the moment. Would you like a refresher on our objectives one more time?
So the objectives won't help me. I'm just going to go and press, space gets me out to there. I will actually save where I am, and we will go and do the tutorial. I should have done the tutorial before I did any recording. So just go and do a new save in through here. DAS 01. There we go. So we'll just save that, just so we can come back to it. But let's go back out and do the tutorial missions, because it does explain the game very, very well, and that's going to be a little bit too complex for me, believe it or not. Let's go and do this first one, Fleet Academy tutorial, in through here. So we'll select this one here. Oh, that's right. There's heaps of stuff. I've only completed 3, but let's just go through them. They're pretty quick. Just go and select. So this is, so we've got friendly forces, we've got Small Beginnings and Dusty Tome. These are frigates. So we've got Rains class frigate, 2 Rains class frigates. They've got different loadouts for each one of them. So if we have a bit of a look, this one's got 2 Mark 62 cannons. This one's got a 1 Mark 62 cannon. This one's got a bullseye radar. This one's got a jammer. So this one is actually going to be defending us. And then they've got 2 launchers in through here as well. This one's got 2, this one's got 1. So, but it's mainly the cannons are going to be the main thing that we use. These are almost like battleship sort of style weaponry. And then the different size cannons that they actually have in the game, they do vary a little bit. So we'll get started. Now this will then just tell us exactly what we have to do.
I'm Lieutenant Hazel. I'll be guiding you through the trials to determine if you're cleared for operations. The brass has their eyes on you, so try not to embarrass me.
Okay, so if you miss anything, you can view the message log in the menu. So there is going to be a menu. Just go continue.
Let's get you familiar with the view controls first. Hold down the left mouse button and drag the mouse to angle your view.
Yep, so we've got that.
Now use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out.
Zoom in and out. There we go.
And most importantly, moving the view. Use W, A, S, and D to pan the view. E and C will raise and lower your view in the battle space, respectively.
Okay, that's important.
And that's it. Let's move on to the actual interface. We're going to select one of our ships now, so sit tight.
This is the thing that you do need to get used to using. I'll just go continue.
Select a ship either by clicking on its icon in the battle space, selecting it in the ship list, or pressing its corresponding number key indicated in the ship list.
So if I go to the first one here, I can just press number 1 and select it. Now, with this one, I don't know if she's going to keep on talking. Yeah, she's not going to talk just yet. If I go and have a bit of a look at this particular ship, if I press number 1 twice, yeah, that does then hook into it. So I can then sort of keep it sort of so that it's then orbiting around the actual ship, so we can actually have a good look at it. From what I can remember, and I should probably go through it a little bit, this is like all of the actual areas on the ship itself. And if I go back and have a look at it from this angle here, we might be able to sort of see it a bit more clearly. Inside the ship, we've got a turret up the top through there. This is one of our Mark 62s. We've got one of the sensors back out this other side. Another Mark 62 down the bottom there, I think, and that's the missile rack that was actually on the actual design itself. So even though the hulls look sort of clunky, etc., there's different factions in the game, and it's almost as though they've cobbled together fleets. This particular fleet has been purpose built, but there is like another faction where it's all come together from using they essentially are using civilian ships that have then been sort of retasked for military purposes. And then we sort of see other different things throughout the ship. Now we'll actually end up finding what all these different things are. Everywhere there's something green, it means it's filled up an area inside the ship. So the ships themselves come completely empty when you design them. And so these are pre-designed, of course, but this one actually does have like slots that weren't used. Now, if you can target anywhere on the ship, it sort of doesn't it doesn't show you too much. This is going to be like the sort of like these are engines for braking the ship. We're going to have the main engines at the back are in through this other side. They'll also then have the like the engine bays, the generators, etc., etc. So most of these will be fairly stock standard. When you fight against enemy ships, you'll sort of get a bit of an idea as to what they've got as well. And so if it's green, it means all systems are actually okay. The status is actually all okay. Down through here is the actual orders, and this is why I wanted to redo this one. I can turn on or off the 2 Mark 62 cannons, like the one underneath or the one on top. I've got the bullseye radar, and this also has a big bearing on how you then go through. I might just change where my head is actually. But it's an incredible game, like just the actual, with what the game actually does do. I may end up being where the enemy ships end up being. In this case though, we've got all these different things. She's now going to explain how this all works. And she doesn't go through the whole lot, but so we'll just go continue.
You've selected a ship. Now if you want to focus your view on the ship, you can use the F key. You can also do this by double tapping the ship's number key to both select and focus on the ship at the same time. When focused, your view will automatically track the selecting unit until you move the view.
Okay, so that's so if I use WASD, if I've got the ship selected, I can just press the F key again and get the focus. Okay, that's cool.
This ship in particular is the Rains-class frigate. It's the most common warship in the fleets, with a generous balance of speed, agility, armoring, and some good room for a good mix of support modules and weapon systems.
So the game is very much about building up your own ships ultimately.
You'll also see at the bottom of the screen a readout of the selected ship. This is the ship information bar, and it's a list of the status of modules, weapons, current orders, and the general posture of the warship. This window is the damage control status board, and it'll be one of the most important items when in battle, as it shows the condition of all modules on the ship as a color gradient. Green means functional and undamaged, while red means heavy damage. A destroyed module or weapon is indicated in gray.
Yep, so it's all systems go at this stage.
Damage control is a whole can of worms, so we won't be covering that for now. Let's move on. Next, the mount status display. This shows the status of all external mounts on the hull, which could be weapons, defense systems, or utilities. Currently, all of our mounts show green with a black slash, indicating they're operational but idle. If you're ever confused at what a color or a symbol means, you can hover over the color status icon with your mouse to see what's going on.
Okay, use just idle.
Lastly, we have the posture controls. These define how the ship will operate. From here, you can control maneuvers, which sensor systems are enabled, and toggle specific defensive systems.
This is the hard bit.
Right now, I've disabled most of these so we don't toggle something by mistake. But we'll go over these systems later. So you know how the interface works, but what about issuing an order to a ship? The ANS Small Beginnings is reporting that their drives are online, so we'll get that frigate into a nearby position. Select the ANS Small Beginnings and open the action menu by right-clicking anywhere in the battle space.
So that's out through here.
On the left side of the menu, select the Move or Movement submenu to see all available movement commands.
So we can do different things.
Or Position command will order the warship to move to a position and hold there. Select position and move the Small Beginnings within 500 meters of Waypoint Atlas.
So we click move, and it didn't tell me move the. So we need to go to hold heading, orbit at position, move to position is the one that we need. So again, you do actually have the keyboard commands. Like once you actually hit move, you've then got like position, orbit at position, hold a heading, drive course, form with ship, so you can actually then end up with sort of like a group of them working together. Roll the ship around. Again, it's full 3D area space, so there's no up or down really. Clear hold and then clear roll settings, clear heading and roll, and then you've got assume lead, and it will stop. So we're going to go to position.
This is the dial widget, and it will allow you to accurately select position on the plane the ship is currently on by moving the cursor. You can left-click to confirm an order, or right-click to cancel. To change the elevation, hold left control and move your cursor up or down. You can also issue waypoints by holding left shift and marking a path. The order will only be confirmed when left shift is released and you click again. Don't forget, if you need to get a better view, you can still hold the left mouse button to angle your view even while the dial is open. When you're ready, lay in a course for the Small Beginnings to position itself near Waypoint Atlas.
So trying to sort of figure out exactly where this one is. So if we then press control, we can then sort of go down. And again, I can just sort of see, is that That's about the same sort of depth back there. And so that should get me to where that actually is. So left mouse button to click.
Course laid in.
And so now the ship will just start to sort of move off on its own. This positioning is quite important, like just sort of knowing exactly what to do. It looks clunky, but it's a really, really good game. You can see all of the, what are they called? The, I forget what they're called, the retro engines or whatever they are. But we can sort of see how far away our other ship is as well. So we're moving away from the Dusty Tome. I'm a little bit off actually there.
On it.
It's close enough. And so even when it comes in, like at the moment, the RCL thrusters, the small thrusters are sort of just giving a direction. If these get damaged, then the ship can't maneuver anywhere near as much. So all of this stuff actually has a bearing. They're the thrusters there.
You can also use the M key as a shortcut to issue move to position orders.
Right, so we can just use M for move to position.
Positioning.
There we go. Makes it a bit easier. And so then it should, there we go. It's now going to stop at that position. So it is full 3. It's all full space. The way it sort of does work. I think that the only thing that's really inaccurate is that they do sometimes have a thing in the game where you can actually hear sound of like missiles and explosions and things, which is good for immersion, but isn't realistic. That's probably the only thing that's not actually realistic.
Now let's talk formations. Because only one ship can be commanded at a time, formations are crucial for grouping your forces and keeping management simple. The ANS Dusty Tome is reporting they're ready for orders, so we'll have them fall in with the small beginnings. Select the Dusty Tome and open the action menu.
Receiving.
So I've
The
got that one.
formation command can be found under the Move submenu and is issued with the FRM or Formation button. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Left Shift plus F key.
I'll just do it with the right click. It is easier.
We first have to designate a ship as the guide ship. This ship will be the actual leader for the formation, and all warships following the guide ship will try to copy their current orders. Select the ANS Small Beginnings to mark it as the guide.
If I can do it from there, no, I've got to do it this way.
Next, you'll need to designate a position for the Dusty Tome to take up in formation. The dial functions exactly like the movement command, but it's relative to the guide ship. Pick a position for the Dusty Tome to keep station on.
Just keep it off here, I think.
Forming up.
The Dusty Tome will move into formation, and they'll try to follow the guide ship as best they can. If the guide ship is moving when the ship is ordered to form up with it, the guide will automatically slow down to allow the other ship to catch up. You can have as many ships as you want in a formation, but keep in mind that there are drawbacks to having a lot of closely packed ships, beyond white-knuckled helmsmen. Spacing is key, and sometimes you need to split up. Ships near each other create a larger radar return, making stealth and evasion more difficult and allowing the enemy to detect you at a longer range. But we won't go over sensor coverage just yet.
That's a big part of the game as well, is trying to stay hidden while you're actually then finding different things. Hi Falcons and Mr. Worth, how you guys going? And so saves a lot. Directional thrusters, yeah, that'll do. Is that what they're called? Oh, there we go. If I click on this one through here, thrusters. They're just calling them thrusters. Even they're just thrusters, but they're bigger. Anyway, I don't know how to get rid of that.
You can see the structure of your fleet and its formations in the ship list, which dynamically updates to show which ships are in formation with each other.
So we can see the lead ship.
Orders can be issued to your entire formation at once by opening the action menu in formation mode. This can be done by using left shift plus right click with any ship in the formation selected.
Okay, so shift and right mouse button. So if I select the
Orders.
The action menu will indicate it's in formation mode by displaying the number of ships the order will be delivered to. formation mode, don't worry about which ship you have selected, as the order will be delivered to all of them. Easier that way.
Alright, so you're going to remember left ship with right
And
click.
they will always be routed to the guide ship, and the whole formation will follow them. Now let's get the whole formation moving in a direction. The Drive Course command, found in the Move submenu as the CRS or Course button, will order a ship or formation to travel in a certain direction indefinitely. Select the Drive Course command now. Do not issue the order just yet. When it comes to picking directions in space, you'll use the Sphere widget. It's similar to the Dial widget from before, but allows for choosing directions more uniformly. It can be a little tricky at first, so take your time and get a feel for it. Moving your mouse cursor around will position the target on the surface of the sphere. By holding left control, you will lock the direction and be able to change the radius. This is useful for weapons, as you'll see in a later lesson, but for choosing a course, we really only care about direction. Know that the cursor will remain on one side of the sphere, even if you pan the view. The initial side is determined by where your mouse was relative to the ship when you first opened the widget. If you need to switch the side, hold left control and draw the radius back through the center until it's on the opposite side. Get some practice moving the cursor around now, as selecting a direction or position in 3D space can be very disorienting at first. When you're ready, issue the order to get the formation underway in the given direction.
Okay, it didn't tell me where I had to do it. So what I might do is I might sort of start to move up to the top of this this area up through here. So I'll just go and position it up that way.
The formation will now drive the course until told to do otherwise. Careful not to lose attention and let them get too far. We've had an incident in the past, and I'm not going to fill out more paperwork. Lastly, let's break the dusty tome back off from the formation. To do so, all you need to do is select the ship and issue a standard movement order to it. That will override its order to keep in formation. Well, congratulations! That completes your first lesson in maneuvering ships in the battle space. We'll cover more advanced topics like weapons employment and tactical view in the next lesson. I'll see you back at the Academy.
Alright, so there's a fair bit even just in that, like, you know, to sort of get a bit of a feel for how the ships actually sort of do work. This will then take me back out again. These are really worth doing, particularly the first three, which are the only ones I've done. So we get a summary as to what actually happened. We'll just, oops, I don't mean to do that one. Go back to the main menu. I'll select. So we'll do this one, weapons employment. Using the vital tactical view and how to properly engage targets with ship-mounted weapons. This is, again, these are super important before you start playing the game. And again, I've forgotten how to do all of this stuff. So we've got the same two ships again, same loadout as before. So we'll just go and start.
Now comes my favorite part. Weapons and how to use them. Don't worry about that red contact over in the distance. It's a decommissioned frigate that's been tugged out here for target practice. Before we get to weapons, we need to learn about the tactical view. You can switch between tactical and normal views by pressing spacebar.
Okay, that's this tactical view. Don't know if I can, if I double click on that one, yeah, I can actually then go and see it. Where the hell is it? Oh, we've got a blip, but we don't actually have where it is. Press number 1 twice, we go back to this one here. Okay, just
The view
need to,
controls here are the same as before, but you can zoom out much further and get a better idea of the situation in the battle space. Take a moment to look around now.
okay, it's the only radar blip that we have.
The tactical view provides you with a lot of information that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. It's your primary way of knowing what's happening around you. You'll be using it a lot. The range plane shows you both elevation of targets and their distance from a given point. When no ships are selected, it sits at the center of the battle space. Select the small beginnings now to see how the plane changes. Take note that the range plane moved to center on that ship. It'll also track with it. All ranges will be indicated relative to your currently selected ship. Notice how the line from the enemy track to the range plane has a slight curve. This is because elevation and range are not directly related, so the contact's distance on the plane must be projected onto a sphere. This layout makes it easy to determine the range of a target by looking at the position of the plane relative to your selected ship's capabilities. The dotted lines represent maximum ranges of your ship's systems. Red indicates offensive range, blue is sensor range, and defensive systems are green.
Alright, so that's, what did she say there? It was the red indicates offensive range, which I'm guessing is that out there. It's a bit hard to tell actually. And blue is a sensor range, which is that one there, I'm assuming. And defensive is green, which looks like we don't actually have any. Not sure why there's all these extras, but anyway, that's okay.
While there are common ship configurations found throughout the fleet, most ships have some unique capability. The ANS Small Beginnings is configured with 2 Mark 62 twin-barrel 120mm cannons and a 16-cell vertical missile launcher. I'm unlocking your weapon systems now, so let's put gunnery to the test with some tried-and-true naval fire. There are several ways to target weapons. The fastest and simplest is by shooting directly at the sensor track. To do this, right-click the red sensor track to bring up the action menu in track mode.
So we do actually have that one there. Right click.
The action menu will indicate it is in track mode by displaying the targets and track number in the space. It will automatically open the weapons list if there are any weapons on the ship. The active targeting mode is shown at the top of the list. Right now we are in track mode indicated by TRK. We'll talk about other modes later.
Okay, that's it there.
Select the cannons from the weapon list and light up the target.
So this is the different types of shells that we actually have, but we'll just select the cannon on its own. So we've got like armor-piercing shells and also high-explosive shells. Now, when we play the campaign, the numbers that we see through here will actually diminish, and we won't get them back unless we can refuel. Let's go back and press space. So it's now bringing these cannons to bear.
Definitely seeing some hits there. Looking good. If the guns can't hit a target, the ship will automatically roll itself to get currently active weapon on angle on the target. This is called unmasking.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? So we're getting hits, but even though we can't see what's going on. I'm pretty sure we don't get to see it just yet. So some are missing, some are hitting something, but we don't know exactly what it is. So it's just a blip. So you'll be seeing some hits, some misses. So we don't have visual yet. We've only got sensors.
Right now you'll notice that our fire is pretty inaccurate.
Oh, hang on.
This
Need
is
to
because
fire.
our targeting solution isn't using a fire control lock. The red dot jumping around near the track shows where our sensors think the target is.
It was armor piercing, that's okay. It says fire armor piercing shells at the target ship.
How can we help today?
Let's improve our targeting accuracy by locking the target with our bullseye fire control radar, located on the top of the ship.
Alright, how do we do
To do
that?
this, right-click the track and select the LCK, or lock, at the top of the action menu. You can also use the X key keyboard shortcut.
Lock, was it? Sorry, select the lock. Yep, that's okay. Radar, it's disabled, it's saying. Okay, so to do, require a fire lock on the target. So how do we do that? Right click on right click the track. That's not it, really. And select the lock or lock command at the top of the action menu. This you can use the. Okay, we'll just go continue because that's what we have done.
Notice the new icon on the target. This indicates that the target is locked on and is providing much better accuracy and increased update rate on the target. Remember, not all ships have fire control radar, and you'll only be able to get a lock with ships that have it. Right now we are shooting armor-piercing, AP, shells at the target. Armor-piercing is effective on armor plating, but will only deal damage to internal components directly in the shell's path once it punctures the hull. While any damage is a good thing, we can deal even more damage by switching the shell type to high explosive, dealing damage to a wide area in the target's internals. We use high explosive, HE shells, against targets of appropriate size or smaller, or larger targets with heavy armor damage. HE shells cause much less damage to armor, but penetration will explode inside and do damage to all nearby components and personnel. To switch to HE shells, first open the action menu in track mode by right-clicking the track.
Beginning the attack.
Should now be the high explosive. So we still don't have visual on this. Should have done it.
In the weapon list, next to the cannon's entry, click on the high explosive ammunition icon to immediately switch to that ammo type and begin firing. On many weapon types, you can also change ammunition at any time without needing to issue a new firing order by opening the action menu and clicking the new ammo type while holding left control. Now we'll select the small beginnings and watch what it's up to.
Okay, so we need to watch what it's up to, okay.
The mount's display shows the ship's cannons are firing and cycling.
Right.
When the yellow bar is filled, the cannon will fire again. We can also see that the fire controls radar is solid green, indicating it's active and it has an active lock-on.
Yep, that's good.
Here's the active orders list, showing an icon for each order the ship is currently executing. Right now we have an order to fire our guns and an order to lock the target.
Is that what it's saying? It's the active orders. I'm guessing that's it there.
Have the small beginnings hold fire and break their lock-on by right-clicking on the order icons to cancel them.
Okay, cool. That's good. Cancel orders, yep, which we've done. So we need to do that as well. I mean, it's got the active track. Oh,
And
there we
that's the
go.
basics of gunnery. The key thing is
Right.
to know what ammunition to use, especially as your target takes more damage to warrant the big stuff. But what if you don't have a sensor track? Take a look at your ship's hulls, and you'll notice the 4 white octagons on the sides. These are radar panels, and provide coverage for their respective sector of space. There's also a central control module inside the ship, which track what these panels see.
I think it's these. It's 4 white. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's them there. So these are the radar panels. Provide coverage for their respective sectors of space. Central control panel inside the ship, which tracks what these panels see. Okay, continue.
When panels are damaged or destroyed, you'll lose coverage in that area. Similarly, if the radar controller is destroyed, you'll lose all coverage in all directions. Obviously, fighting blind is not a good thing.
Thanks for the subscription there, Lukesack. Very much appreciated. And Cassina's saying those are the those are the radar panels. Cool. Okay. Original Twitch is saying, yeah, this game, I couldn't get past the tutorial, too confusing for me. I actually played a lot of it a couple of years ago, just mucking around with these little ships, and I really enjoyed it a hell of a lot. I didn't try anything bigger with the big missiles. And so Balanik is saying, hey Daz, recently got into Shadow Empire. Videos really helped me get into the game. Thank you for that. And saying, got into Nebulous a while back, and it's great when you understand enough of it to engage into some larger scale battles, but once you forget, it's kind of a bitch to relearn all again. Yeah, it's a complex game. It's a game that I was going to do a tutorial series on because it really struck me just how good it actually is.
But that won't put you out of the fight just yet. Direct fire weapons like cannons can fall back on visual targeting, where the crew will provide targeting data to your guns using onboard optics. Some weapons like missiles can't do this, however. I've ordered your crew to disable the radar. Take a moment and observe what happens. You don't want the first time you're operating without radar to be the real deal.
Okay, so
With sensors disabled,
Yep, there
you will
we
now
go.
see visual contacts when you have one of your ships selected, and nothing when no ship is selected. Visual contacts are only useful to the ship that actually sees the target, unlike the sensor track, which was shared across all ships. If you don't see anything, you'll need to move within visual range, about 3,200 meters. I've created a marker in the general area for your reference. That won't happen in actual battle. You can fire on visual contacts the same way you did with the sensor tracks. Use visual targeting to fire at the target ship with the small beginnings guns again.
So I have to guess, I guess. Should target, so I'm guessing if we press space. Yep, so it's in here somewhere. Right click. Hang on. Just go and try that again. Select the target with visual targeting.
Beginning the attack.
We're miles off. Absolutely miles off. If I do it this way, I can see what I'm aiming at, I guess. Drag control. Oh, that's okay. That's where we sort of need to be. I think that's right.
Understood. Engaging.
Is that doing it? It says it is. Firing cannons on position. Bearing to target. Don't know why it's taking so long. If I press control, actually if I just escape out of that one, if I press control and right click, that's still not it. It gets confusing, this game. It's not easy. It's not it. I'm not sure the best way of doing this. I'm guessing if I do that.
Beginning the attack.
It's still miles off. God, it's complex. Maybe I've got to do it this way.
Beginning the attack.
That's better. Sort of. Now I've got it. I must have angled it completely differently. I'll try it again with this. That looks better.
Beginning the attack.
These are now working for whatever reason. Don't know what was happening before. That's looks more accurate, doesn't it? Yeah, that was tricky. Robert saying, I like this game to very in depth. Yeah, so it is very in depth. It looks like the target is on the other side of the asteroid. No, it's actually not. The asteroids are monstrously large. Like it's one of the things about it. Like you're sort of not used to playing games where the actual asteroids are like they're size of little planets almost. In most other games. I don't know why we're not. I think we're sort of getting what we need there. Just press E and just go across to it. Can we double click it? No. We're pretty accurate to it. Just not quite getting the hits. What are we doing wrong? So we're slightly under it, doesn't it?
Got you 5 by 5.
Okay, we'll just do that again. And right click, weapons. Okay, left mouse button confirm, drag, pan the camera, control, change the radius of the side. Looks about right, in the right direction, doesn't it? Should be able to bring it back into here in terms of the scale. Left mouse button confirm, control. Okay, there we go. It takes me back to its exact angle. And that should be right on it. So we were firing above, weren't we? So if I just fire into, well, actually that's sort of where it wants to go. We'll fire, maybe we're just firing a little bit below.
Take him out.
I'm missing all the time with this. We seem to be right on the target. Let's not use visual targeting ever again. It does look right though, doesn't it? Get it right on it. Oh, there we go. That's lit up there. We'll try that again. Weapons, targeting.
Beginning the attack.
Try it there. Now we are using the what we actually have there. Still not hitting it. I'm not sure what we have to do. Okay, so Florby is saying. Okay, so actually, I shockingly is saying that so a few guys are giving me. I think the last message was you have to move. Oh, okay, within okay, so we can see it. Makes perfect sense, guys. Makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's go and do that. So yeah, so at the moment the range is 3,500. So just go and right click. We'll go and move to a position. So we'll actually sort of end up towards this one, and we'll just get in a little bit closer. that's the angle that we're looking at. Let's just go to there. That sort of is, yeah, that's going to be about the same height.
Copy that. Moving.
Yeah, sorry guys, that's thanks for that. I should have read it more thoroughly. Yeah, you need to close in to have a visual. Okay, so we have to be able to see it. That makes perfect sense rather than just firing blindly. How many more bullets have we got? There we go. It's miles over here.
Understood. Engaging.
That's better. So we now can see it.
In a situation like this, you can imagine things are not going too well for you, but you'll at least still be a threat, so don't feel too cut up if your sensors go dark.
Thanks, guys.
Now missiles. The ships in this fleet carry two variants of the SGM-2 series anti-ship cruise missiles, the Thunderhead and the Hurricane. The Hurricane is a command-guided missile, which means it is guided to the target by a launching ship. If it misses the target, it will come back around and try again until it runs out of fuel, is shot down, or finally hits the target. Command missiles are very difficult to avoid. The only way to defeat them without destroying the missile itself is by destroying the launching ship or jamming its sensors or communication. Shoot the archer, as we say. The downside is that the Hurricane must be shot at a sensor track. If you lose a track, the Hurricane will be useless. Let's launch 3 Hurricane missiles at the target. Start by opening the action menu in track mode on the target.
Got you 5 by 5.
Okay, start by opening the action menu on the... Yep, we've done that. Need to lock. Start by opening the action menu in track mode, which I have done. Come on, tell me what to do. Game. Oh, sorry, got to continue.
Now select the SGM-225 Hurricane with the weapons list. This will queue up a single missile shot at the target and leave you with an active track selection widget. Multiple missiles can be fired with a single order using the left Alt key. Hold the left Alt key and click on the target to add one more missile per click. The number of queued missiles is shown next to your mouse cursor.
Here we go.
To issue the order, you can either click the left mouse button with the left Alt key released, or you can press the Enter key.
Missile out.
Once you've issued a launch order, you'll notice the mount status display will show the number of missiles that are being spun up for a launch.
Here we go. Here they all come. Yes, we can start to see damage on the ship.
It takes time between when the target is selected and when the missile actually leaves the ship. This warm-up time is when the weapons control system brings the missile online, checks it for errors, establishes a reference frame for the IMU, uploads the target package, and more. Programming time varies by missile type, with more complicated missiles taking more time. The number of missiles that can be warmed up and programmed at the same time is referred to the ship's maximum salvo size, and it varies from ship to ship based on its configuration. These 2 frigates each have 4 channels, so 4 missiles can be fired at a time. Missiles are one of your most limited and precious resources, second only to the ships themselves. They are extremely powerful, but extremely scarce. You'll need to know when to use them, as it can't be replenished under normal circumstances outside of a port. A frigate like the Rains will be crippled by only 2 or 3 missile hits, but in a real fight it will often take more than that to penetrate an enemy's point defense, which are a serious threat to Hurricanes as they tend to fly in a direct path. The ANS Dusty Tome is carrying a different missile loadout. Select the ship now so we can take a look at it.
Send traffic.
Okay, so it's got that one.
This frigate is carrying Thunderheads, an active radar-guided missile, which means it carries its own method for finding targets, allowing it to seek targets by itself. It can be targeted in the same way as the Hurricane missiles, but once it has left the tube, it's entirely autonomous. When it reaches the end of its path, it will activate its onboard seeker and begin searching for a target. The greatest benefit of active missiles is that they can be sent on complex waypoint paths, allowing for multi-angle strikes and even hitting targets behind asteroids. But we'll cover that when you get to your advanced missile trials. For now, let's just fire 3 Thunderhead missiles at the target as we did before with the Hurricanes.
So I've got the Dusty Tome selected, right click, weapons, and then we press the, we click, is it the Alt key now? No, hang on, that wasn't it. Yep, and then Alt now. 3 weapons selected, and then confirm.
Launch confirmed.
As easy as it is to use active radar missiles, there are some downsides to their operation. The first is that the missile must find a target within the cone of its seeker in order to track and kill it. This makes evasive maneuvers such as course changes an easy way to defeat active missiles fired at long range, especially against fast-moving targets. The second shortcoming is that active seekers are easy to decoy with chaff and other countermeasures, meaning more missiles need to be used in order to score a hit, as active missile radars are particularly sensitive to jamming and decoys. But that should do it for your weapons trial. I'll have Fleet Logistics retrieve the dummy ship, and I recommend looking into all the weapons when you get your chance. I'll see you at the Academy.
Alright, that's good. Okay, we've done that one. Thanks guys for directing me through the bits that I missed there. Main menu again. Alright, campaign, tutorials, Fleet Academy, select. So this is damage control. So I haven't done all these other ones. There's a few there. Let's just go and do this one. I think that this will be enough. She's got sensors and electronic warfare. I'm not sure if we just muddle our way through after we do damage control and see how we go. Alright, so we'll start.
Alright, ready for something really nerve-wracking? For as long as you're out here in space, it's inevitable that you're going to take a few hits over the course of your career. In reality, the odds of us coming out unscathed in an engagement are exceedingly low. If you want to stay fit and combat effective, you're going to need to learn how to repair damage. Let's begin. To start, select the A&S Small Beginnings. I've had my boys set up some simulated scenarios for us to cover. Just stay cool. You'll start seeing some damage come up. For the purpose of this training exercise, I've just simulated damage in 3 of the Small Beginnings subsystems. Mount 1, the main radar controller, and the Combat Information Center. In the ship list, you'll notice a number of new icons have appeared.
Listen through here.
The orange number indicates the number of damaged components with active debuffs, which affects the performance of those damaged components. If there's a fire, it will be indicated here. Obviously, a fire in an enclosed space is a serious threat to ship survival. It'll slowly damage the ship over time, and it'll also slow down the working speed of damage control teams. This red number indicates the components have been damaged to the point where they are no longer functional. This also includes components which have been completely destroyed. The red chevrons indicate the ship's command system are not operational, meaning they are no longer receiving any orders. Open the action menu to see what it looks like. The text at the center of the action menu will display "Not Receiving" when a ship can't receive orders. This is because the CIC, or Combat Information Center, has taken critical damage. You may have warships with backup command systems that allow maneuvering orders to be carried out while the CIC is disabled. This allows you to get your ship to safety and effect repairs. However, this ship isn't fitted with that. Going back to the ship's status display, we can see the damaged components and their locations. By clicking on the status display, we can open the damage control board. Do so now. The damage control board will show all of the components installed on the ship and their current status. You can use the filter buttons at the top to suppress things that you don't want to see.
We read you, Command. Connection restored.
Alright, so we've got the... okay, so we can turn the bits and pieces off. Different components. Yeah, okay, so we can just focus on the bits and pieces. Okay, so...
Your damage control officer will automatically prioritize repairs based on how important a component is. For example, your reactor and CIC are going to be priority 1, as they're critical to the operation of the ship.
So this one's back up and running. Yeah, this fire's now off.
If you have your own priorities, you can click on one of the items on the board to prioritize it manually. Prioritized items are highlighted in blue. Keep in mind that changing priorities frequently can cause teams to move around a lot, which wastes valuable time that could be used for repairs. Damage control teams are stationed in a DC locker and will move from there when damage is taken. It'll take time for repairs to start, as the teams need to get themselves and their tools to the casualty. You can see the progress of the damage control teams by the gauge filling up on their token. Hazards like fires are their first priority, before they'll begin repairing actual damage, as these can deal damage over time. The important thing to remember is that once a component has taken damage below 90%, it can never be fully repaired back to 100%. Maximum repair is 10% more than the lowest integrity level the component had at the time of repairs. We'll let your teams work before we continue. Let's do 2 more drills. The first is a component restoration exercise. The CIC is now destroyed, with the integrity at 0%. Repair teams won't begin repairs to get it operational again, without you explicitly telling them to do so. You'll need to get it repaired. In the damage control board, find the CIC and use left shift plus left click to order your repair teams to start working on it. Once it's repaired, the ship will be able to receive orders again. This must be done manually, because restoring a component is a time and equipment-intensive process. The equipment to do so is stored in the DC locker, and each locker only holds enough materials for 1 or 2 restorations. Although the CIC is disabled and this ship can't receive orders to move or fire, you will always be able to prioritize damage control to attempt repairs. But this means that your repair teams are extremely vulnerable. They're moving into parts of the ship that are actively taking enemy fire and could very well be killed. If all the personnel on a team are killed in action, you'll lose the team completely. If you run out of repair teams, you won't be able to repair at all. You can't replenish teams outside of a port, so keep that in mind. We'll wait for your teams to finish their work, then we'll continue.
Click tutorial the game. Yes, after 400 hours played, you get an achievement called a completed tutorial. Yes. And Kuja saying are any of these tutorials the Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek. It's already received orders again. Yeah, so that's, even though it's back up to only 15%, it's still actually active. So,
lastly, we'll do something a little dangerous, a catastrophic scenario. Most component damage is localized and will only affect the part of the ship where the damage was received. On the other hand, catastrophic scenarios are situations which, left unchecked, will eventually take the whole ship down. These situations include reactor overloads, magazine explosions, and fuel line fires.
So we've got reactor there. That's the program array. So what was the other one? It was fuel line fires, so that'll be in the drives, I guess. Magazine bulk. That's the shells in that location. There's the launcher, but where's the missile? Not sure where the missile magazine is.
Your repair teams will automatically move to prevent catastrophic damage. So there's not much you can do except watch. Just get a feel for what it will look like.
Okay, so we've got a countdown going off down through there. Both teams are now working on this one through here. Thanks for the subscription there, Tenru. Very much appreciated. Oh, sorry, I've got to press continue.
Your damage control officer will always prioritize repairs for a situation like this. The ship's survival always comes first. Notice the flashing warning icon in the ship's list. Below the icon is an estimated countdown before the situation gets out of control. If you don't know what's wrong, you can hover over the warning icon to see a tooltip. Out of all of the catastrophic damage you might see, reactor overloads are the most deadly. Your teams know how to work with a damaged reactor, but fires and other hazards can make it a nearly impossible task to complete. Should the reactor go critical, you'll see a reactor bloom with a blast radius of about 1.5 kilometers. Standard doctrine states to move all of the friendly warships out of the danger radius of a ship with an impending reactor overload. Be careful around enemy wrecks as well. Your weapons could have damaged the reactor housings, and you'll get little to no warning before they go off. But Commander, that's it for your damage control trials. Just keep an eye on your teams and be smart
There
about
we go,
the
we fixed it.
and you'll come out just fine.
I was hoping they'd blow it up.
The ship's survival always comes first.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Do we need to look at anything else, I guess? Or do we just go in now that we've sort of got that small amount of information? Let's have another quick look at the tutorials again. So we're not doing these more complex ones. So sensors and electronic warfare, know the enemy. Yeah, maybe we'll do this one as well. We've got advanced maneuvering. That would have been useful, I guess. Anti-ship missile defense. Final battle problem. Put all the skills you've learned into actual battle, controlling a small part of the friendly fleet. That could be fun to play out. I mean, the tutorial is, the campaign is really just going to be a string of these sort of battles. So let's do this one, and then we'll do this one here. See how we go. It's a pretty amazing game, though. You know, like, it really is super, super deep. I mean, you can build your own ships as well.
It's critical for you to understand your sensors and the things that affect them, as they act as your eyes in the battle space. After all, you can't shoot what you can't see. But now it's time to learn how they actually work. How to evade detection while spotting the enemy, and how to fool your opponent is absolutely paramount to a successful engagement. Let's begin. Select the ANS Small Beginnings.
What are our orders, Commander?
The first thing we'll talk about is your signature size and methods of signature control. Active sensors like radar detect enemy ships by bouncing radio waves off of them. The physical size of your ship, combined with the angle of surface and the cross-sectional area from the viewing angle, affect the size of the return energy. In other words, the same ship will appear on sensors at a longer range if its broadside is facing the enemy versus being bow on. The smallest radar cross-section for the Rains frigate, for example, is from above and below the port and starboard stern. You can see the size of your signature by hovering over the signature summary on the ship information bar. There are other contributing factors to the size of your signature, including what modules are active and how many ships are nearby.
Okay, so we've got a few different sensors back out this way.
Right now there is another ship nearby, which is boosting the size of the radar return and making it so the enemy can see us at a longer range. Let's lower our footprint. Move the Small Beginnings more than 250 meters away from the Dusty Tome, so you won't contribute to each other's signatures. Don't move towards the enemy. We want to keep our current range.
So move to position. So how far is it? That's 200 meters, so another 250 away, she said. So I'll just move over to here somewhere.
Turning up the engines now.
Just see if this changes. So this is just one more. Here we go. No contributing factors.
If you hover over the signature summary with your mouse, you will see the nearby ships modifier is gone, reducing our overall footprint. It's good, but we'll need to do better if we want to hide ourselves from the enemy. On the ship list, the yellow icon indicates that the ship is spotted by the enemy sensors and is being tracked. Similarly, a red crosshair here would show that the ship is locked by the enemy's fire control radar. We have a good set of tools to reduce our radar footprint even further. Let's see what we can do to shake the enemy off. This switch will toggle our radar systems off, greatly reducing our footprint. This switch disables our communication suites, which can provide a modest reduction in our signature size. Go ahead and turn off both of these now, and see how it affects our signature size. You may be surprised to see that even with your radars off, you are still seeing tracks. This is because the ANS Dusty Tome still has the radars and comms on, and is transmitting tracks to the small beginnings, sharing their own data. Hover over Signature Summary with your mouse to see how changing these emission settings altered your signature.
Okay.
If you didn't move too close to the enemy, you'll notice that the yellow icon indicating the ship is being tracked has disappeared. If you are still being tracked, it might be because your hull is at an angle that maximizes radar reflections. Even then, a lower signature size reduces the distance at which the enemy can detect you, even if you are well inside their maximum sensor. Disabling emissions also has the added benefit of making you undetectable by passive sensors. Passive radar sensing is typically able to detect you 125% further away from your maximum radar range, so being invisible to it has an obvious benefit. The downside, of course, is that turning off your radars means you can't detect threats as easily. Similarly, disabling comms means that the ship is no longer transmitting any tracks it sees to friendly ships in the fleet. Ships with their comms off will still be able to receive tracks from other transmitting ships, so they can act as a silent shooter. Go ahead and re-enable both the radar and the communications on the small beginnings. Now it's time to experience what having your sensors jammed feels like. Confusing, right? The enemy jammer is saturating our radar with radio waves, making it difficult for our systems to find legitimate contacts. This noise of contacts is what we are seeing, instead of the real radar picture. Notice that we lost track of the ship in front of us, but the one on the right is still clear as day. This is because jamming only affects the area around the direction that is being jammed. Keep this in mind when you're trying to use jamming to protect your own ships. We do have a tool available that can be used in a pinch, the burn-through sweep. Not all radar modules have this, but allows for a short, high-powered sweep in all directions. To execute the burn-through sweep, open the action menu and select the BRN or burn-through command on the top. Then, as quickly as you can, attempt to lock the target. You can use the X key for the lock-on shortcut.
So what do? We go to the burn. That work?
Burn-through sweeps will show a unique icon for detected targets, making it easier to spot the target through the noise. The icon will linger for about 30 seconds to give you time to lock on. Locked targets are much less susceptible to being lost through jamming.
Awaiting your orders, Commander. You heard the orders. Let's go.
Doesn't seem to be sort of working. Use burn through sweep to lock the target. So if I go and do this one, burn, if I press X.
I don't think we can hit that one, Looks Commander. Like we're being jammed.
Not sure what I'm doing here. Try it again. Sensors jammed. Right click, burn.
Aye, aye, Commander. Right away, Commander.
It's not sort of working. Try it again.
Looks like we're being jammed. Quiet. Command's on the line.
Seem to do it. I'm not sure what's happened there.
Right away. Aye, aye, Commander.
No idea.
Awaiting your orders, Commander. You heard the orders. Let's go. Right away, Commander.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here again. Sorry, guys. About how this actually does work. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? So, use a burn through sweep to lock the target with the ANS. Now, we've got the track.
We hear you,
Select that
Command.
one. Right click.
We're locked on to target.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not sure how that worked. Alright, so we
That's
have
it.
locked on.
Most of the time you'll be able to maintain a fire control lock in spite of jamming. But keep in mind that jamming power stacks, so a fleet with enough jammers active at the same time will break any lock. Because burn-through sweeps use a much higher power output, they also have the added benefit of being able to spot smaller, weaker contacts at a greater range. This is useful for finding small scout ships or approaching missiles. The downside is that the higher power output runs the risk of causing damage to the amplifiers every time you use it, so be careful not to burn out your radars. Your other option for burning through jamming is simply to get closer to the enemy, brute forcing your way in. Just try not to get sunk in the process. Jamming the enemy ourselves can be as easy as right-clicking their track and selecting our jammers with the EW weapons menu. However, these targets are far enough apart that they won't both be covered by the cone centered on only one of them. The ANS Dusty Tome is carrying a blanket radar jammer. We'll use that to jam both targets by catching them both in the jammer's cone of effect by targeting a position between both contacts. You can target a weapon on a position in space by opening the action menu by right-clicking in open space instead of on a track, and use the sphere widget to target a position between the two contacts. Remember to use the tactical view as it will give you precise bearings for positional targeting. When in the tactical view, you'll see each track's position projected onto the sphere of the widget. To blind both of them, aim for a point between those two projected positions. Remember that you can change the radius of the widget by holding left control and drawing the radius in or out.
Okay, so jam both targets. With the jammer. Lock. Go through electronic warfare. I'm guessing it sits in through here. Jammer. I'm guessing that covers it.
Buzzer active.
Will that work?
Jammer's hot.
Doesn't seem to be sort of doing what they want us to do. I think I may have to be jamming out this way, potentially. Okay, we'll try it again. It's got sort of both targets there, I guess, so I guess this is it here.
That's jamming.
And like that, they can't see us
There we
anymore,
go.
just like what happened to us. But they can also use the same tactics like burn-throughs or approaching us to sift through the jamming. While jamming power is additive, it is not linear. The more jamming signals that are present in an area, the more they begin to create destructive interference and cancel each other out. Think of it like, even if you don't successfully jam the enemy's tracking on your ships, an active jamming signal will still reduce their sensor accuracy. This is particularly devastating for point defenses, which are shooting at very small, very fast targets and therefore require great accuracy. Using standoff jamming in coordination with your missile salvos will make them devastatingly effective. Let's try it. Fire off the missile salvo at the enemy ship ahead, and see how their defenses react with your jammer active.
Alright, so far off enemy ship, see how its defenses react. Okay, so continue. I'm guessing we just still keep the Dusty Tome for that one. Thunderhead.
Launching missiles.
There they go. Okay, they're using other defenses. They've destroyed everything.
Ready.
I'm not jamming anymore. Let's do that again.
Jammers
Watch how erratically the enemy defenses are firing. Point defense requires pinpoint precision, which your jamming is preventing by flooding their sensors with far too many false contacts. When using jamming to cover a missile attack, you'll still need to watch out for air burst point defenses, like flak guns, as they don't require much accuracy. Most importantly, the blanket jammer has a 90-second firing time. This is to prevent the amplifiers from overheating and being damaged. However, there are times where you absolutely have to be able to use the system, or you'll lose the ship. In that case, you might not care whether the module destroys itself. This is what Battle Short is for. Select the ANS Dusty Tome if it isn't already. This is the toggle for the Battle Short mode. When this is on, all equipment safeties are disabled, and the equipment will continue to run until it destroys itself. Reserve it for emergency use, or you'll hear an endless litany of profanity from the damage control officer.
And that's the timer there. Okay, it's going down. Alright, that then goes up to full active.
When Battle Short is enabled, active components with active duration timers will periodically be damaged. However, they will only begin taking damage when they exceed their normal firing time. One last thing to note is that most electronic warfare modules are single-cycle systems. That means they won't repeatedly fire on the same target after their cooldown period, and you'll need to designate a new target every time the system comes off cooldown. Jamming is an extremely powerful tactic when used at the right time. Use it to cover your retreat, confuse enemy fire, cover your missiles, and anything else you can think of. With that out of the way, that should do it for sensors and E-War. I hope I made it easy to follow, because the guidebooks on these are nightmarish. I'll see you back at the academy.
Come on, do it before it gets there. No, they're killing it. They've killed it all off. Okay, that's alright. Alright, just go back to the main menu. I don't know whether to do the last, because it does then get more complex as we sort of go into it. If I select this one here, so we've now done that one as well. Got advanced maneuvering, anti-ship missiles. So this maybe this is a bit newish actually. But we could try this one here. Put all your skills you've learnt to the test in the actual battle. Let's just try this one here because I think that we're not ready yet to do the other one is in like the other actual mission. So we've got a couple of different types of weapons. We've got heavy cruisers, 2 heavy cruisers coming in. I'll just read a few more of the comments. Okay, so Von Rabbit Singh Red news to go and ask about EWS in space and how stealthy space combat is impossible since ships will always be able to attract via heat signature. Space is so cold that ships will always give off. Okay, there we go. Suffer McGee is saying, yeah, stealth isn't invisible though. I think people misunderstand what stealth is. It can reduce or mask your signature. That's all stealth does. You can't cloak your ship like Star Trek, but you could reduce its ability to stand out. So even modern stealth in the real world just reduces the range. There we go, Von Rabbit saying, but in space even a small heat signature from a ship can be seen millions of miles away. And Suffer McGee saying, right, so it's not about being invisible, it's about not looking like a threat. Except that if there's any heat, that would be basically it. So Viren Games is saying, hey Dads, this is a great game, a bit tough to get into initially, but very rewarding, and the campaign can be played solo up to 8 people, if I remember correctly. 8, wow, didn't know that. So we've got the, this is what we actually have, so we've got a whole lot of different sorts of cannons and things back through here again as well. So this is probably a little bit beyond us with what we're used to, with what we've only been using small frigates. We do have an error there. Anyway, let's just see how we go. Just close that error off. I forget how to change the timer. Maybe you can't pause.
This is the real thing. I hope you remembered what I taught you, for all our sakes. We've been diverted from our final certification. A small protectorate harassing force has penetrated into the system, and we're the only units in the area. Commodore Blackwell is in command on ANS and Lattice bound. He'll be managing most of the task force, but he's left the heavy cruisers to you. I'll be here with you the whole time. Make me proud, and try not to get us killed.
So this one's already a subset of this one over through here. Just press escape and just go to settings. Just look at the controls. I thought there was a pause. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Page up, page down is increase the game speed. Okay, toggle active pause if enabled. So space plus left control. Okay, so space left control. All right, so we can do that one. So we can change the speed. What else have we got? God, there's so much in this game. It's a big game. On gameplay, yep, that's okay. So it looks like we have to. I'll just go cancel and look at the gameplay. And hopefully I've got active pause selected. Not seeing it there. Enable active pause. There we go. Yep, it's on. Okay, that's fine. Active pause speed will be 0%, so you can actually just slow it right down. Okay, that's all good. Just move the music down a little bit. All right, let's resume. So there we go. Active pause is on, so we can still have we can now have a bit of a look around to sort of figure out what's going on. So who are these guys? Are these the other ships? Yeah, these are part of our fleet, but we don't control these. So these are other groups. So what do we do? Got no idea. Looks like there's unknown contacts coming in this other side. Just go back out to here and have a bit of a look. So yeah, that's the they're the contacts coming into the system. So we do actually have the asteroid sort of moving up this way. So we'll start to sort of move up to intercept them. The lattice bound is now we've got the radar is on, communications are on, format positioning. Yeah, that's okay. I'll leave that one where that actually is. You can see it's a lot more detailed in this particular one. We've got the damage control lockers. We've got a heap of them on this. This is a much bigger ship. We've got all sorts of different weaponry on this particular ship as well. So it's going to take us a little bit of time just to get used to it. Let's just see how we go. So we're going to send our two ships. Well, in fact, it looks like it might be coming into this area. So let's move our ships across to, in fact, it looks like it's coming in this way. We might just move down as if we're going to intercept it down in here somewhere. So with the lattice bond selected, right click, move into a position. So I'm just going to move across here a little bit and then just press the control and then go down a little bit as well. That'll do us, I think. Let's just go there. More targets coming in over this way as well. Missed one of the targets. Okay, we're not seeing them anymore. We need to try to identify. Here they come.
Fast ships, probably shuttles with rocket launchers. They look like easy pickings, but don't let your guard down.
Okay, so we've got a couple of ships now that are sort of moving in towards us. We've got a couple of tracks. They're hostiles coming back into the system. Looks like we've got jammers up as well from the other ships. We'll just keep on moving towards what's going on. The range is fairly high, a long way away. So I'll just with the lattice bound, just go and track the weapon. That one there is, what's the range? So this is a cruise, that's the missiles. main guns. We've got the 450mm turrets. I think I'll just stay where I am. I won't do anything. Just watch what happens.
If they get close, they can easily take down a ship of this size with swarm tactics. Our big 450 guns will have a hard time landing a hit on them when they're closing with us.
Just watch what actually happens here.
Probable second group of rocket shuttles detected. Moving fast.
Yeah, this is beyond my capabilities. To be honest, I need to do the rocket stuff to figure out what's going on. You're coming in a bit high.
Something big down there. My bet is a Marauder line ship. They're big converted bulk freighters with guns strapped onto them. They'll be broadside to us to unmask all their guns, which makes them an easy target for ours. Unfortunately, that also makes them bad targets for our guideline HEKP missiles, which will pass straight through from side to side without doing much damage. We need a bow to stern shot for those to be most effective.
Missiles going off from everyone. Okay, there's a missile that's actually hit something at the back there. God, this is way too confusing for me. To be honest, guys.
Ships in your formation
I don't know what's going on.
Left shift plus right click.
Ooh, what have we got there?
Order received. Engaging now. We lost the target, Commander.
That's the target, okay. Yeah, I've got no idea what I'm doing here, guys, so I'm going to not do this. I don't know what to do, actually. We've been like an hour and a half. I probably really do need to keep on doing tutorials. I'm lost as to what we're doing here. There's a warship there.
Above the large asteroid. Retired Alliance hardware. It's a real warship with armor, heavy guns, and a narrow front profile. They're probably using it as a command ship. That's our biggest threat right now. It would be a great candidate for some of our Guideline 4 missiles. You'll need more than a few. Its point defenses are no joke.
Yeah, I've got zero idea as to what's going on. We're taking damage.
Enemy sensor tug detected up high. They'll be using their long-range directional sensors to keep high-quality tracks on our ship.
Yeah, this is
sticky,
way too much
works.
for me. It's outside my pay grade. So I think I'll ditch this because I've got no idea what I'm doing. But what we can do is maybe set up another scenario. So let's just go back out. Return to the move main game, yes. Main menu. So we did actually, looks like we did take some, oh, that's just the efficiency. No, that's okay. Alright, that was way too much. Let's set up a skirmish. We'll go to a new skirmish in through here. So, now, this is low points, I think. Team 2. I think that's what we want to be doing. Is setting them up on easy mode. I would imagine that would then make them fairly weak. So we're going to have 3,000 points. We've got Battle Group 1 there. So I did create a fleet, 3,000 points, which has got like a. So I built this one years ago. So it's probably still going to be okay. There's still 3,000 points back in through that other side. There's other fleets, starter fleets with the Alliance. We've got different sorts of ships coming back in through as well. 3,000 point sort of different classifications all the way through. Okay, there's heaps of them actually. So the Alliance is more combat oriented from memory, and I'll just go down to the Protectorate. I think these are more reclaimed. What am I trying to say? Reclaimed civilian ships. So these have got sort of like different types of like light carriers and stuff like that. So we can set up an actual mission where we go up against our own like different types of things. So I've got Battle Group 01, which I had created, just using very basic cannons and a point defense system. So that's pretty much all it has. This one has got a jammer and a bullseye radar, but no real. So this one's a defensive ship. This is a destroyer. We've got a battleship up through here, which has got. Let's just play with that one versus. Well, at the moment it's just been set up. I'll just go and cancel that. That's actually going into those two locations. Scenario is going to be control. I'm not sure what that one does. Annihilation. Let's go and do that. Time limit, no limit. Uniform team factions. So we can offset that. Then go and sort of change things around a little bit if we needed to. So we can add a CPU to actually also fight with us if we wanted to, but let's not do that. Let's just go and sort of set up Team 1, Team 2, but we'll set Team 2 up on easy. Let's just go and start. So we're going to have to try to sort of hunt them down. See if I can remember any of this. So we've got no missiles, it's just purely big guns. Now we have to figure out which angle we're going to go into to fight in this sort of blown up asteroid. So deployment. Have to figure out the angle. Which was the best way. Getting green there, what does that mean? We'll just go that way, we'll deploy. So ships are coming into this system. So we're trying to decelerate as fast as we can. Alright, so we've got the cutter and the Legionnaire. And not doing anything else at this stage. So we're going to have to find the enemy. We'll go into the actual system itself. See if we can actually figure out where that actually is.
What are our orders, Commander?
Got the radar on. It is actually part of the Legionnaire is the lead ship.
Commander.
Let's just go and start to maneuver our way in.
Aye, aye, Commander. Moving out.
So they will have also just come into the system. It was page up and page down, wasn't it? That was changed the speed. It didn't seem to sort of do that. Let's another quick look at that and just see the settings again. Page up, page down. Okay. So we're looking for any sort of contacts.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
Let's get more into the center.
Moving out, Commander.
You can hit the asteroids, I think, if you sort of get it wrong. It's very hard to see what's going on. What if I could have chosen something more open? Actually, I might just see if I can do that. Another skirmish. So we'll just go into new skirmish. Okay, we'll make that easy for ourselves. Yeah, that's it. So we'll make it a smallish smallish area. We've got Abyssal. Yeah, we've got a small testing range. Well, the cliff, I think, from memory, is a pretty good one. Just for these sort of smallish, it's just one massive asteroid. We'll go small testing range. So this will be the Annihilation. And start. Let's try this one. So this one won't be anywhere near as big. So Kujibrim saying the most important question though, can you rename your ships? Pretty much, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not when unless you do it before you start. Yeah, maybe not. I know that when you design a fleet, you can. There we go. Okay, so we do actually have now. They're coming in. They're already firing. Let's just pause this one so they can already see us. Let's just go and have a quick look and see what sort of range we're looking at. So they're at range 5. So we could turn all the sensors off to sort of try to be a little bit more, sort of quiet, I guess. Or we can just go for it. I mean, we can just do a shooting match if we needed to. The cutter is really the one that's got the has got all of the radars where it can sort of do jamming, etc., etc. The what else we got there? Communications have been jammed, so they have actually jammed us. We've tracked as well, so they've already got a jammer running against us. So they're going to be the sort of identical. We've got a warship there, destroyer. So that's their small ship. We might take out the small ship first, maybe. Let's just go back to the Legionnaire. And although if I can smack my way through a bit of their hull. So we've got the front turret. It's got three in the front, and we've then got the armor-piercing shell. So let's just go and start using those. So we will just start to fire at that particular one, and then the cutter does actually have some defenders, like it can actually try to destroy missiles that are coming through. It doesn't have much else though, really. Let's just see how we go. We'll just get the ships to start to move in towards it as well. So we'll just go and get the Legionnaire, and if we want the cutter, how do we do that? We right click on it, do we? Move. We're going to form with ship. Let's. Yeah, I'll just have it sort of around where it was. Alright, so that's just this now going to come in with the other ship, and then this one here will just go and start to now move it in towards the other ships, I think. Into position. See what sort of damage actually comes in. Oops.
Enemy fire. Incoming.
A few things have hit us. They've hit us with some sort of cutter.
We've lost a component. We hear you, Command. Firing solution locked in.
What I should do is use...
Ready when you are, Commander.
What is that one? Oh, that's the beam cannon.
Copy. Opening fire.
There we go. It's firing at it. So we're taking shots on this side. So even on easy, it's not easy.
Quiet. Command's on the line.
So we've got damage now coming into the system. So the cannon has now been damaged a little bit. Here comes the different teams. Yeah, these beams are hurting.
We've lost a component. Orders, Command?
Just keep the armor piercing. Range is closing.
We're moving.
Let's keep them coming in. One thing I could do would be to move,
Moving.
just change the facing so we're not actually got that one showing everything.
We've lost a component.
Okay, that one's been damaged.
Yes, Command.
Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage here.
Module has been destroyed.
We can now see it. Taken nowhere near as... Oh, hang on, the whole front of it's been blasted. Just keep on watching what happens here, I guess.
We've lost a module.
We're losing more modules than ours. Oops, we've now lost sight of it.
Standing by.
Yep, so we've lost Scrambler, point defense, track correlator. So we're losing all sorts of things. The gyros. We've got fire. So where was that? The fire's now out, but we've got disabled components. The teams are sort of off doing what they can. Got an atmospheric leak in compartment 11, wherever that is. Yeah, and Mark 60, one of the Mark 68 cannons has also got a leak. Yeah, there we go, atmospheric leak there. That's now been knocked out. So the everything is not really working all that well. Wow, I've got 15 components that have been damaged. Okay, we are hitting it.
A component is destroyed.
So that cutter beam actually seems to be doing a lot of damage.
What do you want?
Big cannon on the front. It's this one here.
What do you want?
That's been knocked out. Yeah, so they've destroyed a lot of the cannons that we had.
A component is destroyed. Get us moving.
We'll start moving in towards them again.
A component is destroyed.
Not that we can do much. Still firing back.
A component is destroyed.
It's in a bad way. Still got fires on as well. Got fires out. But a lot of destroyed components now.
We're almost out of shells!
Okay, we're running out of shells now as well. Yeah, so I think I still need to do a lot more tutorials to figure out what to do.
We're out of shells! There's our target.
Good high explosive.
There's our target.
Let's bring these to bear.
Receiving.
That beam is pretty much the only thing we've got.
Our component is destroyed. Talk to us.
Looks like the beam weapon from this has done a lot of damage. Now I lost sight of it. No, it's still there. And they're just smacking into this the whole time.
A component is destroyed. We need to move now. We need to move now.
It's more over this way.
Full burn, all engines. We need to move now.
You can ram. Getting a few misses here now.
Component wrecked. Our component is destroyed.
So Vaffa's saying, seen your YouTube on Tabletop Tavern. Looks interesting. Yeah, it's a great game. Really great game. Oh, here we go. We can now see it. We can now see it. Okay, let's try to ram it.
Let's move, let's move. Component wrecked. Full burn, all engines.
It's miles away.
Get us moving.
Only 2,000 away.
Component wrecked. Component wrecked.
I don't know what that is. Come on. Crash into it. You can do it. You can do it.
Make it quick. There's our target. We fired everything we have.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
We're getting low on ammunition.
Doesn't matter about the ammunition. We just need to smash into it. Then we'll have it.
Our component is destroyed. We fired everything we have.
Well, we seem to be on the right direction here. Like we are moving straight through it, the middle of it.
We need to move now. We're losing modules. We're losing modules.
That was screwed up
We're
again.
losing components.
That takes us through it. Okay, ramming speed. I think you can do this.
Component wrecked!
Did it work? All the front stuff has now been destroyed.
We need to move now! All shells expended! Our component is destroyed!
Oh, but nothing else we can do.
We're getting
So it's
low
going
on
to hit our own.
ammunition! Fire!
I don't think we've got anything left. I think we're dead. Our own cutter is actually hitting us now.
We're ready when you are, Commander.
It's trying to move across.
Copy. Opening fire.
We're losing components!
Well, I think we're dead. I think we're dead in the water here. Any flight carrier in the fleet? No, not in this one. So, but we can't do much there. All right, so there were equal fleets. Let's just abandon. So we'll if we exit the main menu. It gives me the rundown of what actually happened. So we can see there ours has taken a hell of a lot more damage. Missile warfare not applicable back in both of these. Anti-ship warfare was excellent. Ours was considered good. I don't know how. This was sensor warfare was poor. Theirs was fair, and they had good engineering and mobility. And we had only fair there, so we didn't do like that's just a rating of how things actually did go down. Any ship warfare was good. What about the other ships? These didn't take any actual damage. So that was ours, and they were both excellent with engineering, etc. There was no damage done to any one of those. Damage potential. The actual damage 3,000, so only 11% damage. They did a lot more. They doubled theirs, so they had much better. Now their sensor warfare was fair. Ours was fair as well. In this case, yeah, we did 4,000 actual damage with the cannons. They did nearly 8,000. So yeah, double the damage yet again. Anyway, I think I will leave it there, guys, because I'm still way out of my depth with this game. I thought I might be able to just sort of fiddle about with it and sort of get a result, but it is too difficult for me. So it's an incredible game though. It's a game that as I said before at the start, I knew it was going to be embarrassing to show my lack of skill with this game, but it is a game that I do want to learn. There's so much in it. There was also actually one thing we could have a look at. Campaigns and tutorials. Let's just try one more. Let's try this Hemlock one. And just select it and see what we end up getting. It is a missile fleet. So we'll see how we go with this campaign. I'll just grab myself a drink of water, be right back. There we go. So No Tales is saying all roads lead to learn BB. Yeah. Okay, so no task is saying, but
Loaded. Return to your ships. We will rejoin in transit to reference point Boxer.
The full intel dossier just arrived, Captain. Vanadium's squadron is staying put on the other side of the planet. Task Force Aspen should arrive at reference point Boxer in plus 8 hours.
Engineering reports the drives have been worked up. We're all good to go.
SWC has our missile briefings prepared if you need a refresher, Captain. We're fully loaded with state-of-the-art hybrids.
Let's send them back to Bethel.
So again, now we're full of friendly fleets again, which is so. This is going to be too much for me again, I think. Follow the fleet.
At the ready,
We
Commander.
only have one ship. That's us.
Aye, aye. Full power.
Sir, would you like a summary of our missile capabilities on our way out?
This is pretty cool. Open up past dialogue, so we'll skip that.
If you'll open up the weapons panel on your tactical plot, this will be easier. We have 6 programming channels, so most of our missiles are designed for size 6 salvos.
Alright, so that's all we have.
Ether and Miasma are our workhorses against enemy capitals. We don't have many, but 1 or 2 salvos should be enough to shut them down for follow-up shots from lower-end missiles.
Again, this is beyond my capabilities.
Filgia and Nazaruda. Finally, Psyche.
Yep, so these are all different types of missiles.
Ship it.
So no real idea what we're doing. It's pretty cool though. This is just someone's mod that they made to help us a tutorial, but I think it's going to get, this one's going to get too wild again. I think for me it's got to be sort of almost like 1 or 2 ships fighting 1 or 2 ships just to be able to get a better understanding. So I think I will actually call it to a close, guys. But it's a game, again, this is a game I really want to get used to playing. Like, and I do want to invest the time into it because I think it's going to be worth it. Like, it's such a the depth in this game is just unbelievable. Like with all the different sorts of stuff, and each ship. Actually, one thing, maybe we can just have one last little look. Let's just go back out the main menu, and you got the fleet editor back and through here. This is actually where you can go and sort of like, I mean, we've got the Shelter Alliance, the Outlying Systems Protectorate. Select this one. You've then got the actual ships themselves, where you can just start to load them up. So yeah, with different types, you've got fleet composition. There is actually, you can have multiple ships in the actual. What they do, this is just a small clipper. Add ship. Templates. I'm not sure how this one works. Again, I'm just fumbling my way through. Blank hull. Yeah, there we go. Clippers, monitors, carriers. Yeah, command cruisers, then the line ships as well. So that then comes in with where you can then start to sort of build the whatever's on the inside, etc. So you sort of build them up. There's just so much in this game. Like, it's just an incredible game. And the other thing I might just show before I do go is the modding, because there's a hell of a lot of mods for this as well. Should we want to exit? Yes, we'll discard the changes. Go to mods, and can't see them there. Just exit for a second. By the way, the game is 50% off at the moment, I think, too. If we just go back out to the store page. At the moment, it is, and it's rated like it's very positive, like around 80 to 90% is extremely good. Yeah, 50% off at the moment. So now's a good time to get it. It's going to end in a couple of days, so it's not a real lot of time to go and grab it. But it's a very, very detailed and good game if you do invest the time into it, which I just never put enough time into learning it. And it has just had the big campaign update, which came a week or so back. So that's sort of where we are there. It's we're just going to quick look at the mods. There's heaps of mods under workshop. Just go view all. Come on. Can't do it easily. Come on, try this one. Just to give a bit of a feel as to as to what the community has done with this game. Sorry, my Steam is actually really slow for me today. It's just looking at the updates. Just try it again. Nope, doesn't want to do it. Oh, it's news and events. Okay, so no, it's this one in here. Yeah, it's not getting the graphics. I'm not having much luck with this, but there is a lot of mods for the game, like a hell of a lot, and the campaigns are now just starting to sort of become more popular. So there's more and more people actually now building the campaigns with the new campaign editor. So we should sort of start to see some pretty interesting. That's one I downloaded. This one here, Hemlock tutorial campaign. But if I could find some simple stuff, I'd probably actually have a bit of a play with it. Different weaponry that you can download. It's an amazing game. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be playing tomorrow. I've got so many new games. I do want to sort of show them off, but this one I know that the way that's just now come back in with the actual with the new campaigns, the campaign editor, is a big change for Nebulous. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you guys tomorrow if you're around.